First, drive a central stake vertically into an open piece of land. Then use ropes to mark out the outline of the outer wall and dig foundation trenches along that outline. After that, use the red clay to ram earth walls inside the foundation trench. But before the wall is even finished, it collapses like a pile of tofu dregs. Later, you realize that the soil here is extremely damp. Groundwater seeps through the soil into the trench, soaking and weakening the earthen wall. So you bring in large cobblestones and lay them flat inside the trench. Then you fill the gaps with smaller stones and repeatedly tamp everything down with a rammer until nothing is loose. Using the same method, you keep stacking the stonework upward until the stone wall rises about 1 meter above the ground. Then begin ramming the earthen wall again. But unexpectedly, even raising the stone wall still cannot stop moisture from climbing upward. The new earthen wall collapses again. Luckily, you come up with another solution. You mix lime and fine river sand into the clay, making it denser and more water resistant. Then you use this improved clay to seal all the gaps inside and outside the stone wall, preventing moisture from climbing up the structure. Once the clay is completely dry, you can place wooden wall beams on top of the stone wall and begin ramming the earthen wall. To prevent the earthen wall from cracking as it dries, every time you ram a 30-centimeter thick layer of earth, you lay a layer of bamboo strips on top as wall reinforcement. Then cover it with clay and ram it flat again. Layer by layer, this eventually forms a circular bamboo reinforced framework. It works like modern steel rebar, tightly binding together the massive earthen wall. And after every layer of earthen wall is completed, construction must stop for 6 to 12 months. Only after the wall has dried and stabilized, you can carve grooves on the top of the wall, install crossbeams, and continue ramming the next layer. To protect the earthen walls from rain damage, you build a giant roof over the structure. Then you install the floors, doors, and windows, and the building is finally complete. But soon, you discover a fatal flaw. Since the building is a closed circular structure, once heavy rain falls, the interior can turn into a giant water pit. So to prevent this, you dig several neat rings of drainage channels in the central ground area. Then you pave the ground evenly with stones. This way, whenever heavy rain comes, the water flows through the drainage channels and out of the building. At this point, the building is finally complete. But not long after it is built, the foundation begins to settle slightly and unevenly. This causes the wooden pillars on the upper 3 interior floors to tilt. The maximum tilt angle even reaches 15 degrees. Fortunately, the building mainly relies on its outer circular rammed earth wall for load bearing. The internal wooden pillars only play a supporting role. That is why the entire structure can lean without collapsing and stand for centuries. Just like that, you have invented the crooked yet unfallen Yuchang building.